Quad C6. Alright, doing a little testing out here. So this is a build I've been working on. It's a 3.5 inch build. I'm calling it the Ranger, I think. And leaning heavily on what Recursion Labs did in terms of motor testing, battery prop testing, things like that. And so now what I'm doing is I'm testing batteries in terms of a 554S versus a 654S. And yeah, right off the bat, so this 3.5 inch covers ground a whole lot better. I think I just made that cardinal mistake of not spotting myself. I can hear myself. There I am. I came back to the spot. I flew this spot before, and I wanted to come back to some spot to kind of have a little bit of a already a feel for what kind of I expect out of here, to be able to really kind of test these batteries out a little bit. Yeah, nice. That's interesting. So, I guess I don't remember the spot quite as well as I thought I did. So with this quad, yeah, 3.5 inch, testing 550 versus 650. This does have a better antenna on it. It's the True RC. But I still need to get patches on my goggles. So I think this little speckle would probably just go away. But I'm definitely already getting further than I was over that 3 inch. I mean, that 3 inch was really, that's my backyard build. I wouldn't expect this to be even remotely competitive, or that 3 inch to be remotely competitive with this one on our range and power, things like that. So I do have to revise this frame. I've got it ordered. I wanted to do a couple of things. One of them was my motors. When I built this up, they seemed like they were just kind of blowing through the frame. I was getting some really bad low frequency oscillation. I think it was just the frame flexing. So then I put, and I'm still flying that frame right now, so I put a brace on the back arms to kind of test that theory, and lo and behold, vibrations went away. Then, to double check it, I took the brace off and the vibrations were still gone. So I don't really know what that was that was giving me such problems, but there's a couple other things on the frame I wanted to test or to do different, to revise differently. And so that's a cool ridge. So this frame is going to get revised anyways. I get a little scared getting behind here. I have not yet set up GPS. I still don't have a buzzer, so I certainly don't want to go crazy on this thing. But I did want to get a feel for kind of coming out here, getting after a little bit. So nothing too crazy flight-wise, getting 4 minutes. And this is the 550 pack, 554S. It is the Tattoo R-line. Flying into the wind in this direction, and obviously climbing altitude. So you're just going to expect it to come back quicker. But why is my voltage not popping back up? I guess I'm just not letting off the throttle. There it goes. Yeah, okay. Seemed strange for a second. Alright, so 440, 366. And then go one more pass. And we'll pop in the 650 battery and see how that one does. So 5 minutes. So pretty safely 5 minutes. Now obviously if you get after it more, the battery's going to go a little quicker. So the question is, you know, with the bigger battery, are you going to pick up flight time? Where am I? Are you going to pick up flight time because you are carrying more weight, and all quads kind of have like a little like efficiency sweet spot, and I don't know if this will jump it to the other side of that sweet spot. Okay, so now we got the 650 battery, so about 20% more capacity theoretically. Oh, it's kind of interesting flying this bigger quad. So the speed kind of shrinks the terrain. You know, with the little 3-inch on 2S, just taking longer to get places. So you kind of feel bigger. That's still a pretty long dive though. I don't want to get behind this ridge though. Yeah, that one right there. Once I have the GPS rescue set up, I'll probably get a little bit more brave, because you can see what happens here is the way this steps up. If you get too low behind it, you're gonna lose your direct signal path and could lose it. It's a really pretty rock formation. I'm trying to stay up and away from it, really, to make sure that I maintain good clear signal on it, and not getting too crazy on kind of following the terrain super low. So yeah, it's not going to be the most interesting flight, but I think you have to do these flights in order to get the equipment where it's ready to do the more interesting flights. I think last time certainly kind of pushed the envelope with taking pretty borderline ready equipment and just kind of flying it anyways in the last couple videos out here. But that's sort of part of the fun of it, I guess, sometimes, is to do things you're probably not quite ready for and push that envelope a little bit. So in this setup, so these are the T-Motor 1404 3800 kV, and I'm flying it on the HQ tri-blade prop. It's a little pitchier than the bi-blade, and Recursion Labs, I wish I knew what his name was, but the guy who does Recursion Labs did a bunch of nice testing with thrust stand, and did some calculations too of saying, okay, if we go to bigger motors, how's the weight going to translate into efficiency and things like that. So I'm pretty confident that this is a good setup. Not necessarily that it's going to be the best setup, because I don't think his testing was necessarily fully exhaustive of every possibility. I don't think it's fair to even necessarily expect that either. But I think he did test enough stuff to where within this sort of like realm of things, we know that it's pretty good, going to be a pretty good setup. But it would be interesting to try some other combinations with slightly bigger motors, but I don't know, I think you'd have to carry a lot of battery, because look where we are with this battery already. It says 650, 20% more capacity than the 550 we just flew, and I'm already seeing 3.66 at 4 minutes. I'm trying to fly it similar. Obviously I can't. I don't think you can fly things entirely 100% the same. And some people would argue, well, you got to do a better test setup. But the problem is flight is dynamic. And so really the true answer is to get a whole bunch of packs and fly a whole bunch and compare them. But before I buy a whole bunch, I want to know which ones I want, because I don't want to buy a whole bunch of packs. So that's kind of interesting to me. So this one is kind of recovering a little bit more. I feel like the extra weight, I'm maybe using more throttle. And so as I come off the power, the voltage bounces up better. But look at this. So 5 minutes, I think the flights were similar enough. I don't know if I'm seeing any benefit to the 650. So that's still like 3.6. I'll have to watch the video, but I'll probably do this a couple more times. The other part that's problematic with just 2 packs is that all it takes is one cell to be off, and it'll throw off your flight time. So I don't know, maybe you get, I don't even know if you get extra flight time out of it with the 650. Alright, till next time, cheers. Oh, missed.